The movie opens with 13-year-old Becky being questioned by police about an incident in the woods, but she claims not to remember. 2 weeks earlier, Becky's father picks her up from school for a special weekend trip. Meanwhile, across town, 5 inmates are being transferred, 4 of them part of a crew led by Nazi sympathizer Dominick. Their names are Apex, Cole, and Hammond. During the ride, Apex strangles the lone outsider until he passes out. Dominick alerts the driver, forcing the truck to stop. At the same time, Becky and her father stop at a gas station, where a news report announces the inmate's escape. Becky ignores it, stealing gummy worms and watching a family in matching shirts. Feeling melancholy, she sneaks away to watch an old video of her late mother who died of cancer a year earlier. Back on the road, Becky lashes out when she realizes they're heading to the family's lakehouse, a place tied to her mother. She believes her father plans to sell it, but he reveals he has changed his mind. Relieved, Becky happily hugs him, until her mood shifts again when another car arrives. It's his new partner, Kayla, and her son Tyler. They greet Becky warmly, but she stays cold. Their dog Dora rushes over, prompting Becky's father to ask her to fetch Diego to ease the tension. Dominick and Apex disguise themselves as cops and pull over a driver to steal his car. When the man steps out, Dominick brutally smashes his skull as the man's children watch in terror from the back seat. Meanwhile, Becky refuses to accept Kayla and Tyler, staying silent during dinner until her father brings up how hard the past year has been and insists it's time to move forward. He then announces his engagement to Kayla. Furious, Becky storms into the woods with her dog Diego, retreating to her old playhouse. She rages inside until she notices a painting by her late mother, triggering a memory of singing to her in the hospital. Back at the lake house, Kayla answers the door and annoyingly lets Dominick in. He pretends to be searching for a lost dog. In the woods, Becky finds a strange key inside her old locker and pockets it. Dominick's mask slips when he insults their dog Dora for being a mixed breed, claiming mixed dogs are weak. Offended, Becky's father asks him to leave. But Apex suddenly attacks, choking him unconscious. Under Dominick's orders, Apex hunts down Kayla, smashing her phone when he finds her hiding. Though told to kill her, he refuses, instead ordering her to flee into the woods, where Dora follows. In the woods, Becky overhears 2 men, Cole and Hammond, who soon cross paths with Kayla and Tyler. When asked what they're doing there, Tyler innocently says they're looking for Becky. But Kayla lies and claims it's her dog's name. Spotting Dora trailing behind, Cole heartlessly shoots the dog. Becky witnesses everything from her hiding spot and slips away, leaving Diego in the playhouse. She sneaks back to the lake house and sees her father, Kayla, and Tyler being held hostage in the living room. One of the men reports killing the dog named Becky, which Dominick corrects, as he insists he's only there to retrieve something. Kayla warns they won't be allowed to live since they've seen the men's faces. Dominick searches the basement for a tent box, but finds it empty. Meanwhile, Becky climbs in through her bedroom window, only to panic when Dominick starts coming up the basement ladder, which leads directly to her room. She quickly grabs her walkie-talkie and hides under the window while he peers outside suspiciously. Moments later, Dominick reveals Becky's backpack, confirming she's not a dog but their daughter. He demands the key with the strange symbol, but no one admits to knowing about it. Becky's father claims she's in Atlanta with her mother, but when Dominick finds her phone in the bag, he doesn't believe him. He shoots Kayla in the thigh to force the truth. Hearing her scream, Becky breaks her silence over the walkie-talkie, bluffing that she's already at the neighbor's house and has called the police. The men panic for a moment, but Dominick remains calm, insisting the walkie-talkie's range is short since the nearest neighbor is 1.6 miles, meaning Becky is still hiding somewhere on the property. Dominick and Apex drag Becky's father to the fire pit for a chat, where it's revealed that the men with Dominick are his adopted children. Dominick boasts that they've already proven their love for him and declares that today is the day Becky was prove hers. Through the walkie-talkie, he threatens to torture her father unless she hands over whatever was in the tin box. Panicked, Becky blurts out that she doesn't have the key, confirming to Dominick that she knows about it. To show he's serious, Dominick burns the father's cheek with the fire poker while Becky listens in horror. He then lets the father speak, expecting him to beg Becky to cooperate. But instead, he urges her to run. Enraged, Dominick stabs him in the gut. Desperate, Becky sprints to her playhouse to retrieve the key. But before she arrives, her father breaks free and flees into the woods. He briefly reunites with Becky, telling her he loves her, only for Dominick to appear and shoot him dead. Overcome with rage, Becky plunges the key into Dominick's eye before escaping. Bleeding and half-blind, he stumbles back inside, demanding Hammond cut the dangling eyeball off. When Hammond fumbles with dull scissors, Dominick angrily severs it himself with the knife and orders his crew to hunt Becky through the woods. By the lake, Becky struggles with grief until Cole approaches, mocking her over a walkie-talkie. Spotting him, she bolts to her playhouse where Diego is waiting. He hesitates to follow, terrified of dogs and unarmed. He tries to bargain, promising not to hurt her or her family if she hands over the key. But the mention of her stepmom only hardens her resolve to protect her mother's memory. Determined, Becky arms herself with the broken ruler. To distract Cole, she tosses a coin into the woods. When he moves to check it out, Becky ziplines from the playhouse and drives the ruler into him. She stabs him again and again until he's dead. Meanwhile, Apex tends to Kayla's wound. She appeals to him, saving them, appealing to the humanity she senses in him. Before he can answer, Dominick calls him over. He forces Apex to hold a gun to his chest, reminding him of their 9 years in prison together and the plan he spent years building. Dominick warns he'd rather die than risk betrayal. Torn by guilt, Apex reluctantly reaffirms his loyalty. At the same time, Becky sneaks back to the lake house. She drops a walkie-talkie on the porch, letting Dominick hear her coldly threaten that she's capable of terrible things, enough to unsettle even him. Dominick orders Kayla to convince Becky to surrender, but Kayla admits their strained relationship means Becky will never listen to her. Frustrated, he sends his remaining men after the girl. By the lake, Becky prepares a deadly trap. Hammond stumbles upon Cole's mutilated body and panics, just as Becky appears to lure him in. She leads him onto a dock where he trips over a fishing line and lands on nails jutting from a plank. Becky slams him with another spike board, but when he counters, she leaps onto his back. Hammond topples into the water, screaming he can't swim. Coldly, Becky revs a motorboat and drives it into him, letting the propeller tear him apart. On her way back, Becky confronts Apex. Diego rushes to protect her but is knocked aside. Apex grabs Becky and slams her down. Yet when he tries to finish her, he can't. Instead, he tells her killing leaves scars and urges her not to lose herself. With that, he walks away, defying Dominick. Moments later, Diego stirs, alive after all. Night falls as Becky finds her father's body. She grieves, apologizes, and takes her car keys before returning to the lake house. From outside, she signals Kayla and Tyler that she's there to help, but Dominick enters. Kayla distracts him, demanding to know why he's doing this. He declares himself a white supremacist, claiming the key will help advance his cause. Disgusted, Kayla mocks him, provoking an attack until a car alarm interrupts. While Dominick investigates, Kayla crawls to the kitchen and frees herself and Tyler with a knife. In the parking lot, Dominick mistakes Diego for Apex and wrestles with the dog until he slams a car door shut. Convinced Becky is inside, he raises his gun, only for Becky to suddenly ram him with another car. The crash into a tree triggers the smart car's emergency alert system. Shaken but determined, Becky grabs a gasoline can from the garage. She lures him by singing, letting him find her calmly sitting by the fire pit. Instead of killing her, he praises her ruthlessness and offers to adopt her now that her parents are gone. Becky refuses and blasts him with the gasoline-filled Nerf gun, igniting him in flames. Dominick rolls on the ground, extinguishing the flames, then tackles Becky, seizing the key and aiming his gun to finish her when Apex intervenes. Unable to win him back, Dominick shoots Apex and turns his weapon on Becky. She dodges, sprints to the garage, and returns with the lawnmower. As Apex weakens Dominick in the fight, Becky charges forward and mows him down, finally killing him. Mortally wounded, Apex apologizes, but Becky coldly shoots him dead. She studies the mysterious key in silence. Soon after, Kayla and Tyler find her by the barn, blank-faced, as police sirens approach. The story circles back to the opening scene, Becky questioned by police. She feigns ignorance about the massacre, leaving one officer unsettled by the sheer violence this child is capable of. The film ends there.
If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button. And if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.